The materials needed for today's video is some Bernat Blanket Big Yarn. You are going to need 2 of these. If you want to make a larger size little mat, then you can use more. This is a jumbo 7 weight yarn, and it comes with 32 yards in each of these. And you want to use a 25 millimeter crochet hook. And I will show you the size that your carpet will come out to using 2 skeins. Okay, so this is how big your mat will be using 2 skeins of this yarn. So let's go ahead and get started with this easy pattern. You will also need some sort of stitch marker. I just snipped off a piece of yarn. Let's go ahead and get started. To begin this project, we do want to make a chain. We are going to chain 3 and work into that chain space. If you would like to do a magic loop, you can do that as well. So we're going to chain up 3. Here is 1. Here is 2. And here's 3. Okay, so into the first chain that we made, we are going to place 9 double crochets into that space. So working with this big hook and the big yarn can be quite tricky, but you just want to place 9 double crochets into that first stitch. So here is 1, so back into that same space, we're going to work another. Now, if you would like at this point to mark your first stitch so that you don't get lost as you work your 9 double crochets, you can do that. Sorry, let me get some more yarn here. Okay, there we go. So as you see, the stitches are quite large. Here's stitch number 1. Here's right here. So I'm going to grab my stitch marker and just kind of put that in there. Okay, so continue to place the rest of your stitches into that first space. So we're going to have a total of 9. We are going to count this space over here as the very first space is our chain, so you need to place 8 double crochets into this space, and then we'll have a total of 9 with the chain 3. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here for round 2. Okay guys, so I know it's a little hard to follow the stitches here. I went ahead and moved my stitch marker over where the chain 3 is. And then we have our stitches from there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now what we want to do is we are going to put 2 double crochets into every stitch around for an increased row. So I'm going to work my first double crochet. Again, remember, we're going to want to make sure that we're not doing this too tight or else it's going to fold up onto each other. And if you drop the stitches, just pick them back up. It's no big deal. So there is stitch number 1, and I'm going to tie this through so that I know where our first stitch is for the next round. Okay. So in that same stitch, we are going to make another double crochet. So here is our second. 1, 2. Okay. So go ahead and just feel where the space is. You see the 2 loops, the front and the back loop. We're going to make 2 more double crochets in there. We are just simply going to do 2 double crochets into every single one of our stitches all the way around across all 9 of those. So you'll have a total of 18 stitches when you get done with row 2. And just go ahead and do this. I'll meet you back here. Okay guys, this is what it looks like when you have all 18 double crochets. So now in the next row, we are actually going to do another row with 2 double crochets into every single stitch around. So we're going to increase in every single stitch. So we are not going to do anything else. So let's go ahead and move our stitch marker out. So just like before, into the first stitch, we will place 2 double crochets. Let's see, here's 1. Oh, that happens a lot. So if that happens to you, don't feel bad. There's 1, and I'm going to place my stitch marker back in there. And then into that same stitch, we're going to do another double crochet. And then into the following stitch, 2 double crochets, into the following stitch, 2 double crochets, just increase into every single stitch around, and I will meet you back here for row 4. Okay guys, so this is what it should be looking like. Once you get done with row 3, you should have a total of 36 double crochets. Now moving on to row 4, what we want to do is make an increase into every other stitch. So into our first stitch here, we are going to just make 1 double crochet, just like that, and replace your stitch marker. And I just like to give it a little knot so that it doesn't come out. Okay, so then into the following stitch right here, you would do 2 double crochets into that same space. So here's 1, oops, just put that back on. So there's 1 double crochet. Now we're going to do 1 more back into that same space. Just like that. Okay. So then into the next stitch, we will just place 1 double crochet into that space. And then into the following space, you'll put 2 double crochets into the same space. There's 1. And here is 2. Sorry about that, guys. I just bumped the camera. Into the next stitch, you'll place 1 double crochet. Into the following, you'll place 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So go ahead and do this all the way around for row 4, and I will meet you back here when you are done. Okay guys, so I have 2 more stitches left, and I'm going to show you how we are going to finish off this mat. So let me move it back a little bit closer. So here's my stitch marker. Here is the last stitch right before the stitch marker. So I'm going to place a half double crochet into that stitch right there because we want to start to kind of close this off. And then in the first stitch where we have our stitch marker, we want to go ahead and place a single crochet there. And it looks like I made a knot, so I'm going to cut that. Okay, so into the first stitch, go ahead and make a single crochet. And into the following stitch, go ahead and make a slip stitch. And that's how we're going to round it off. So now we're going to chain up 1, cut our yarn, and leave quite a bit for sewing in. So I'm going to leave about that much and pull that through. Make a extra knot. And then at this point, you will just want to go and weave that in and out of your project. And there you go, you guys. You have a nice little plushy rug. Go ahead, sew the ends in. I will show you guys what it looks like when it's all finished. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys all next time for another tutorial.